And not the most amount of trades. I've taken 4 trades on IBIT and 1 on SMR. This has been our best one of the day, so we're happy with that one. A couple other attempts there on IBIT that we never really got rocking and rolling, hitting key price targets. This is our only loss on the day. Obi, I'm pretty sure you had a good one as well. I don't think you had a loss. It doesn't seem like on today's session. I'm not going to obviously assume anything. I honestly
don't remember.
He doesn't remember. It's essentially irrelevant because he's just trading the price action. So there it is, guys. It's now 2 o'clock. You will see us momentarily, see me momentarily with the afternoon rundown, but it's time to send it off to Neil and Sean, who most definitely have some banger trades on, guys. Have a good one, and you'll see us same time tomorrow. Yes, make sure you tune in for the options activity. 8:20, show starting at 8, and then we're going to run through some of the bigger names and the more active ones on the options chain come 8:20 tomorrow morning.
Take it easy, guys.
So, right, everybody. So 820 is options. Okay, I always say upgrades and downgrades, but now I will.
We had a hard time.
Now I will never forget that it is 820
on the dime.
Oh yeah, we have
because everything always has to be exactly at the right time with TraderTV Live. Like we don't start at 2:02 in the afternoon show like we are right now. No, look, you guys know. Ultimately, there's a lot to consume. But we're not network television, so when you come in the morning, you're gonna get everything that you expect. But if options don't start at 8:20, don't hate on us too much. Joe said something that he was interested in SMR.
Yeah, we've been trading that all day.
It was in SMR. Actually, that's the one coming into VWAP that I'm paying attention to right now, and really it just comes down to like the structure of the morning. Like it was like this 19 to 1910, and then that's gonna be VWAP, and then you're gonna throw out. That it was afternoon resistance as well on SMR. So this is kind of the spot that I'm looking for. We're going to obviously keep ear to the ground today because it's when you think about CS, all the headlines that have come through. There's been a lot of individual headlines, so you want to keep your ear to the ground. That's why we have Adara. That's why you have Sia. My earpiece is in. I'm going to make sure that my news service is restarted and that kind of a thing because we've had a bunch. Tesla came out of nowhere. There was a Marvell headline. I thought we knew about the acquisition, but it seemed to move the stock anyways. Like Marvell.
The biggest story was that Tesla.
Well, Marvell was stupidity, the movement.
Yeah, I see that it went to the downside. But this was, Adara literally came and said, Jensen, I was sitting right here. And she said, I don't know, Obi and Joe, I don't know if they were on Tesla or not, but this is literally, you can rewind the tape and go to 140, 139, and listen to what Adara was talking about. She said Jensen came on and said Tesla has the best AI stack, something to that extent. And I was like, Nvidia mentioned something about Tesla. Okay. So we just bought twice, man. I got hit on the bid, and then I punched even more long, and then $3 it goes. Well, it's $2 now, so yeah, $3. So it goes up to $4.32 right there, and that's just by opening up your ears and listening. So that was not only was it at the bottom, which helped the trade for sure, and that's why we got out of a little bit right quick there again. And then honestly, we've been taking a bath on SoFi trying to find that bottom, and now we're short. But also AMD, man, AMD was getting hit all day, and we just sat there and boom again. Right there. So nice, found the bottom, and now basically out of that. We'll have to wait to see where AMD goes. But yeah, man, it was perfect timing on this Tesla trade. And I want to thank Adara and thank everybody for paying attention to what she has to say. Maybe hopefully not as much as what Neil and I have to say, but that was a big trade. I want to thank Adara for that one. Put that one right in the sky. So that was a good one for us there on Tesla. I'm now out of 65% of it. Maybe I'll get out of a little bit more right here, but a big trade alert obviously there on Tesla, and we'll see what happens with SoFi and then AMD. I have 5% left of AMD, so hopefully that continues to work out as well. But we'll see what happens with Tesla here. I just got another piece out there. We'll see if it can go a little bit higher than where we are right now. Getting less and less interested in this trade, but the 200 period is a spot for now. Down 4.5%. I mean, the market's up 1%. So
there's a lot of that going on today. Like Nvidia is a great example of that. Nvidia went red several times after trying to get back into the green. Marvell was going super strong. And what's weird about the Marvell thing is we knew about the deal. They announced it at like 10 o'clock as well. And then you see like there was movement to the downside. Then during CS, there was another crazy spike. It went $3.50 up followed by $5 down, and then came back like $2.50, and now it's headed right back into the low. So the volatility on some of these chip names is going to be a little bit intense, but you got to pick your spots. SMR is coming right into that volume-weighted average price. It's trying to break out here. So I'm not in the front end, thankfully, looking at this VWAP. Going to wait to see if it shows any weakness here. As SMR maybe tries to go a little full circle, but I'll give it a chance to fail under VWAP and take that shot to the downside. The other one I'm tracking is a V-shaped recovery of sorts. Well, not really. It already did it. But Intel looking higher lows. Intel was a big dog this morning, in addition to AMD and some of the other chips. But this is approaching the high of the day. So I had a reversion short before. It bounced off VWAP, so we got out. Now I'm just going to look at this top. We're either fading this same 39.8 area, or we're looking for an afternoon potential breakout here on Intel. So we'll let you guys know, and we'll let Joe get set up. I see him matriculating all over the desk. Let us know what you guys are trading here. Chop overall in this market is all I got to say. And so you want to make sure you get chopped up. I'm trying to avoid any headshots.
Oh, they came?
What came?
Our vests from ICE. Okay, and yeah, not that ICE. We're talking about Intercontinental Exchange right here. Not going to be going around the city of Toronto. We don't do that around here. There's Tesla right there, 432. Nice movement, and we just got out of some more there, so I just want to tell people that nice out there in and around 432 up to 433. We'll see if it gets going up there, and I might just get out of AMD as we break through the 200 period moving average right here. I'll just offer it out there. Okay, I'll hold a small piece there of AMD as we break through the 200 period. A little small opportunity there. Yeah, we're working with ICE. Yeah, that is for sure. Yeah, SMR and NVIDIA.
You said it was like,
yeah, so put your passport numbers and all that stuff in the chat, and we'll double check them for you. So,
but they kicked us out of the Hilton. So
don't worry. What was that? What was that?
Oh, you didn't hear?
No.
Oh, so people. So apparently, from what I heard, I read this online. There's a couple of articles that there were. I think it was ICE officials, I believe, were staying at a Hilton.
Oh, okay,
Or they got kicked out, or they had the reservation canceled.
What?
And then there's this and then people are boycotting Hilton over that.
Okay.
Because hold on a second. What's
These are the ICE vests right here.
HJV? Is that what it is?
So ICE.
Snap.
So there it is.
Finance Pro.
Yeah. So now we can all be. Show me your passport days immediately. Yeah, thank you.
The fact that it's a vest and it has ICE on it.
Yeah.
Hey, there we go.
Oh, good. All right, thanks, Mark. Yeah, you've seen Mark come in here again. So there it is, ICE. We'll have to say a big shout out to Mark O'Keefe from Intercontinental Exchange. So thank you so much for hooking us up with that. But there it is. Nice vest, man. There we go. So we'll
see my vest. See my vest.
My vest. See my vest.
Made of something gorilla.
Gorilla glue? No. Okay, so all right, so SoFi, unfortunately, guys, I mean, we've been shorting it, longing it, doing all the best things with SoFi. I thought we could, okay, here it goes. If it breaks 26.35, we're out. I mean, now it's starting to get going again. So we just tried to short this on SSR, kind of underneath the I mean, it hasn't been working, so whatever. I mean, we just covered a little bit down there at 24.25 on ICE, on SoFi right there. But okay, here it goes. So it is going to break that top right now. You could wait until 43, 44. Okay, it's going to go, and there it is, punching me out there at 36. We'll stop another fail there. Another fail on SoFi as it just keeps on going upside. They're trying to short it against its 10% downside play, but I don't know. We just got stopped. I mean, do I want to get back in there? I don't know. Got to give this a couple more minutes before this one does anything. It's Tesla right now, nicely cooking on AMD. We're down on Nvidia today, trying to go long. That's breaking the lows too, it looks like right now. SMR is flat. SMCI is up today, although it looks like that was wrong, all the way down to 29 bucks. That kept on going. I mean, some of these tech names, and then SMR we're flat on, but there goes SMR. We said 1875 as a long. That was good, but I mean, it gets down to 1820, so we had to get out of there right away. But yeah, that's what's happening right now in my land. But yeah, just waiting for AMD and waiting for Tesla, but more shares on Tesla than AMD. So we'll give it a little bit of a go here and see if this can go long. Yeah, long SoFi, I don't know, it's down 10%. I bought more in my long-term account today on SoFi, so I really like this stock, and I've already said it's going to be a pick of mine moving forward, as is Marvell. So I actually get a benefit today. Both the stocks I like are down, so maybe a better price action for that contest.
I like that overreaction to the oil overreaction, because it was twofold. You had CVX and, well, I mean, whatever, all of them, all of the oil names kind of going down for a couple of days in a row. And then you had here in Canada, up and then rejecting. And then you had here in Canada some energy names that I guess panicked in yesterday's session. Like you had a dividend name like Enbridge drop 4% because of fears, I suppose, that the U.S. wouldn't be as much of a client going forward. It's like, come on, man. Way too big of an overreaction. So I like that one. We're going to get into the rundown as we speak. But before we go to the desk, I want to point out critical metals, which I'm pretty sure a few people were talking about earlier, going a bit parabolic on no news that I can find. So watch out for CRML. That is running. Probably not the top of the list on the rundown. My guess is, well, I'm going to say Tesla because that's what I see in front of me.
Okay.
All right, guys, welcome back to the afternoon rundown. This segment chose by you. So make sure you get in the chat, put in those tickers, $ at the front, and then we talk about the names that you guys want to go over in the afternoon rundown. Before we start things off, let's take a look at some of the major averages here, guys. At the top of the list, we have the IWM leading the way on today's intraday session, up 1.1%. And in second place, we have the Dow Jones up 1.8% approximately. And with the Qs and the SPY, roughly around a 0.5% positive on today's intraday session. Now, as for the top performing sectors as well, too, guys, we have the healthcare leading the way, up almost 2% here or I guess today through the majority of the session, but at the bottom end of the range. Something that we thought would be hot for quite some time doesn't seem to be necessarily the case, down 2.44% is XLE. But let's get right into the afternoon rundown and some of the tickers that you guys want to talk about. And leading the way is going to be SoFi. SoFi, not so high here. Goldman Sachs maintaining a neutral on SoFi Technologies, lowering its price target to $24. That's a couple points lower than where we're currently trading. Sia.
So the SoFi was down 8% in pre-market, and it's currently down almost 10%, which is a 13% decline from the stock in December. And the massive 1.5 billion stock offering announced in December could possibly be the reason for the volatility. 100%. The stock has also tumbled 10% after Bank of America resumed the coverage of the company at an underperform rating and suggested that there was more downside ahead. It's funny because I just bought 2 shares of SoFi today.
Oh, you bought? Yeah. Okay, wonderful stuff. Well, with Goldman Sachs putting a neutral rating and lowering once again, the price target from $27 to $24.
That's cute, 2 shares. Yeah, I bought some. I bought 50 shares here. I just averaged in today to the SoFi position. Let's go figure out what's going on with SoFi. And we didn't, we asked all morning sort of what the story was about SoFi. And yeah, it actually started out the day flat. So there was actually nothing going on with SoFi there, all pre-market. This is where we closed. It was up here at $29. Everybody likes the financials. I didn't even really have it on my, I didn't have it on my list at all. And then we only got involved once it dropped all the way down into $27. Then we started to buy and sell. And we were basically flat or up on SoFi, I think, when we left at 11 o'clock. But we've made a mess right now trying to go long sort of off the bottom. And then that last short, it's a good thing we got out of it because now it breaks way higher now as we tried to short this whole basic move there on SoFi right back up. And I wanted to give it basically to the 50 period. We should have stopped out there, but it was just pretty choppy. We did have a move back in where we were able to cover a little bit just before we came on, or just as we were on there at 2 o'clock. And then bang, there goes SoFi straight up to the upside. So yeah, man, it just keeps on going. But I do like your thinking there, Sia, because SoFi is going to be a pick of mine for 2026. I really like moving forward with SoFi. I think it's going to be a big bank at some point, just a baby one now. We'll see if SoFi can recover. I think it will. But yeah, I like SoFi for this year. It's going to be one of my plays. And I bought down there at 26. So I bought a little bit more today as well. And I like the stock. It's one of the ones I'm putting my money back into.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not quite yet adding to it. But look, I love SoFi has been a holding for a while. and I see this year as a buying opportunity. I was actually showing Thea this chart too. This is a monthly chart on SoFi, and whatever. Like we've seen this pattern before. There's your IPO top, and then it's like a big U, and then look at the consolidation. So last month when you had the red month, what does it do? It bounces right above that top at 26. So 26 is a very crucial hold. If we lose 26, I think you're almost wading back into the 20 level. I'm sitting at 20. I still have a stink bid at $22.22, which whatever. Like that's either gonna. I think it's at the end of the month is good too. It's either gonna expire and put a new one in, or I'll maybe even get filled. But if we can start to hold this 26 level, probably at least midway through the month, when I'm more convinced that we have some support there, I might nibble in a bit early. Because on the monthly chart, this still absolutely looks fine. But if you lose that 26, I think you have some serious backfill. But if you're holding it for the long term, I don't think it's that bad. But reality is it's like 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, 1 for 4 in SoFi. If I take every single trend break, this one probably would be good enough. But like at that point, you can't really work that way at the end of the day. So yeah, it's like, well, if you like all these other trend breaks or bounce levels, why didn't you take the one at 26? Because at some point, it's like if it doesn't make sense, just get out of it. Just get out of its way. I think with this particular name, and it's worth noting. If one wants to load up a little bit faster. Like if I look, they're not the same thing. But if I look at some other places, like say like a Robinhood, this was only down about 3 points. It is trending down, and they're basically moving the same. One is just moving 3 times more than the other. So this can't be seen as, oh well, everyone's kind of getting hit. And, no, SoFi on big volume took a big dent out. So it's going to need some convincing that it's going to look a little bit better. Wow, SMR really took off VWAP.
Yeah, that was a great trade. Damn it.
That is. There hasn't been a red candle on SMR in quite some time. So that is absolutely not a short. But again, that's why sometimes you got to wait for the back end of the trade. I'm actually looking at IBIT because IBIT's very close to a local breakout here. I was long at 52.10 a couple times, and then it kind of broke down. Now it's trying to break out this 30. So I'm looking for this 30 breakout on IBITs. We'll go to the desk, and maybe this time it'll be Tesla. I guessed wrong last time.
0 for 2, Neil. That's not much fun now, is it? No, obviously being sarcastic. All right, guys, next on the list, we have the very most popular NVDA continuing to expand its partnerships with Simons and re-innovating the end-to-end industrial value chain from design and engineering to manufacturing, production, operations, and into supply chains. So AI still very much in vogue. What do you have for us, Neil?
So NVIDIA also announced at CES in Las Vegas as of today that its autonomous vehicle AI called Alpha Mayo is going to be available in certain Mercedes-Benz vehicles as of Q1 in 2026. NVIDIA also plans to roll out the vehicle AI in Europe and Asia after its US launch. NVIDIA has also added that it's working with the robo-taxi operators and aims to have its autonomous vehicle tech in fleets as soon as 2027 to achieve level 4 or true autonomous driving capability. Stocks have risen almost 1% after that announcement today.
Beautiful stuff. All right, so CES 2026, guys, bringing multiple volatility spikes into the market and into names like NVDA. How are we playing this?
My thought was sell the news on these types of plays. I didn't, not specifically on Nvidia, because Nvidia never really tagged that anywhere close. Well, it got somewhat close to these tops in here. Like I was specifically looking at 193 there, and then you had a wick high 93 and a 93.5, and so it looked like we were trending in to 193. It just didn't quite get there. I ended up in Intel short, which I'm actually looking at for potential break right now. But it just feels to me, oh yeah, no, it's not split adjusted. It just feels to me like we're in a bit of a range bound off the 50 period here on Nvidia. So it's low, it's mid 180s. But the bad thing about this support area that we're sitting in right now is, as I said, this 92 area or 92, 93, where all that selling is going on. So you've got some support mid 80s, but at some point, if you have this heavy selling coming in every time we think there's going to be good news, you eventually end up breaking this flat bottom. So I came in thinking we'd be looking for some fades. I end up in Intel a couple times, and I'm looking for a third mean reversion off this 40 level. It's basically been giving you point and a half each time, but this has actually been strong. And Nvidia, best of the best, is the one that decides that it's going to be weak. But until it breaks that channel, there's nothing to panic about on Nvidia. You know, like if you consolidate sideways like this after a move up, it's not necessarily a bad thing. It's just, you know, no follow through till whoever is selling here or whomever is selling here at 192 to 93 can get chewed through. With any luck, we don't break 186, because structurally that's going to kind of suck if you lose that support at 86, and that'll drag a lot of things down with it. I copped this one just to sell the news on CES and wouldn't be overreacting.
All right. Yeah, we tried to go long on NVIDIA, but our better play was just waiting for the bottom or some kind of a bottom on AMD. So like we just, you know, let this all fall down basically, and you know, try to take a little bit of an advantage there on a 50-period break. And then against the low of the day, it took off. We're pretty lucky to grab that trade, to be honest with you. But there it goes, straight upside. And yeah, around 1 o'clock is when it started to go. We just took a little bit out there again at the 200, but I think we're going to offer around 214 again, see if we can get something out of the top side. And we're getting out some more SoFi. I did go short there against 61s, just the potential top, and this 50 pair. We already talked about SoFi, but just right into here. So finally, we get to the 50-period moving average. Now might be time to look at a short. But I mean, just against that top wick, and we only covered 20% there. So might take another L here, trying to go short on SoFi. Tesla's $4 right now in the money, so we don't have too much to worry about that one. But Nvidia, yeah, we tried it early and just didn't work out, and we were able to get out of it. So, you know, here the greens are all the buys. We were able to catch a little bit there off 188.50 or so, and then eventually when we took down that 188, we had to hop out of it. So a loss there on Nvidia trying to catch the falling knife. It never works, man. Trying to catch falling knives never really works. Better off waiting until you can finally think about a bottom, and that looks like it was at 187.50. So, oh man, the market keeps ticking higher right now, and Nvidia just now turning green. So, yeah, potentially there is a move to retrace back upside here on Nvidia, but with the market up 1% and Nvidia just turning green now, I still think it's a fade. But if you look here, you don't have too much else to do until this 200 period, so that's 188.50. So if you have patience, I think it might be worth a while just to wait around and see if you can hit something on that Nvidia short 188.50 up to 189. I'd give it that much room at least. So there it is. All right, let's go back over and see what the next stock to talk about is.
Even more popular here, Katina, man, we have Tesla up next. A lot going on here with this name. We're down approximately 13.5% off of its previous all-time highs, but the competition is starting to ramp up for this name. Tesla's rivals, Lucid, unveiling its prototype robotaxi and also collaborating with Uber amid strong Q4 deliveries. Tesla down slightly here this morning, but what's slightly alarming is the 13.5% off of its previous all-time highs.
So while this could potentially be a concern for Tesla, Elon Musk has rejected basically every post on social media and has not made any comment in favor of that. But he has said exactly what Tesla is doing on X. I'm not losing sleep over this, and I genuinely hope they succeed right after the Alpamayo announcement this morning. And Tesla is down 4.17%. It was almost down 5% after the Alpamayo announcement. And another thing of note here is that in December, Tesla's UK numbers fell 29% year over year, which is quite not a small number.
No, not at all. Market share continuously dropping across the pond there, guys. Boston Dynamics also debuting Tesla's Optimus rival Atlas robot, teams up with Google's DeepMind as Hyundai prepares deployment. We're down 13.5%, guys, off of that previous almost $500 mark. What are we doing with Tesla?
$4.99. Before we get to that, let's just throw out the super chat from David here, because thank you for answering, David, because we were just kind of, you had that great story in the morning talking about your gains on the year, and we were just curious, you know, day trading and swing trading. So you had 373 realized from day trading, but swing trading actually lost. So mostly on Tesla and Nvidia, which tanked last day of 225 when they sold. So I guess you were swinging them into the end of the year, but ended up. So I guess another question would be, do you use the same account for both? I'm going to assume yes, you do, which that's not easy for a lot of people to go between day and swing in the same account, because it would be easy to turn day trades and swing trades. So congratulations. David Blacklock. Love the name. Appreciate you for sure. Look, Tesla, we said Tesla was in the penalty box. It just, when I say that, it doesn't mean like the company's bad or any of that kind of stuff. It just means there was one up day in the last, like since that 500, every day has been a down day with the exception of this really just yesterday. Some of them have been pretty nasty. Others have been somewhat structured where you found some support. Today was on the nasty side. And if you were looking for like any kind of a pop and fade, there was never, you just had to be sitting there short from the absolute open. I think what to watch here would be what happens when we get back into morning support and 2 days ago, before we had the update, that 435 zone on Tesla. Like, are we gonna hold? Are we holding these levels in here? Or are we looking for another push eventually down into the 420? Where I'm kind of thinking like it's 400, it's 420. Those would be some bigger levels. Maybe you can put 1 or 2 days in a row. You're about to lose, unless there's an absolute miracle, you're probably losing the 50-period moving average today on Tesla. So that $500 pullback, reasonably speaking, it's not even that bad if it gets to $400 for Tesla. It's done this kind of a thing before. We went 480 to 380, so 500 to 400 is effectively the same move that it just did in November in 3 weeks in November. That's not even November or December. And then next thing you know, you're pressing to the 500. So it's still upward trending. I wouldn't have too many concerns with that. I could draw you a trend line, and I'll tell you right now, it's still holding it on Tesla. I'd be more concerned if we do lose that 420 this week, though.
Okay, you know, we're 450 in the money now on Tesla. I mean, this is going to be the P&L number one here. And I just, one trade. And this just goes to show you, like, this is the benefit of listening and watching what we're talking about here at Trader TV Live. Honestly, Adair just said Jensen, Tesla, I bought immediately. I just said it's at the low of the day. Very, very easy for me to bear risk on this trade, and there it goes. So this is why this stock right here today is number one, and I think Tesla is one of the best day trading stocks around, right? I mean, it gives you tons of opportunity, but at the same time, it's very, very range bound once it gets going. But we were lucky enough to find that bottom, and the news hits right when it was at the lows. So yeah, great story there for Tesla. Happy to be on this one here today. And there it goes, monster move to the upside. I still really like the name. And like I already said this morning, I actually based the trade down for everybody. I said you could buy some this morning if you wanted to at the 50 period, and then look to see if you can get a little bit more down here around that 400 marker. And then if you get into those levels, yeah, then you got a decision to make and figure out which which levels at that point are key. A lot of stocks go to the 200 period and bounce. We've seen Amazon do that. Would not surprise me. Tesla is still going, but wouldn't surprise me if Tesla does get into this like 380 to 360 area. And at that point, it's even more of a buy than it is right now. So yeah, I still love Tesla here, and good trading for sure. Getting lighter and lighter, man. Less than 20% now on this trade left. So we'll go back over to the desk and see what stock is next. Palantir's on one today too, by the way.
Palantir is not it, but a fellow tech bull here, Dan Ives, seeing a potential 25% spike in the tech space throughout 2026. But the name that we're going to be talking about here is Micron, up a staggering 432% from our benchmark of the April lows.
Yep. Memory stocks overall are soaring pretty high today. And CNBC also did a report earlier today about, and it also mentioned that surging prices for computer memory chips needed to support certain artificial intelligence services, which is what also caused Micron stock to surge, and now currently is up 8%.
Yes, another substantial move. And according to Benzinga here, what we're seeing is that Micron is just trading at a 9.8 times forward PE. Still relatively cheap, guys. What do you think?
9.8?
Micron actually, compared to some other chip names, it has been for a long time, it tends to trade much, much cheaper multiples than some of the other chip names. That's, just look at it historically, that's going to be true. It's not even the most impressive name. Just very quickly, SMR, zero red candles for the last 50 minutes, and now it's breaking trend. So I'm just hopping in, stop at the top, looking for VWAP effectively. I know OKLO is also going as well, so anyone watching the nuclear space, they kind of went on this weird, just maybe program buying, whatever you want to call it, but it looks like it's slowed down, so I'm looking for a reversion there. There has not been a slowdown in Micron. I take you, look, you can take Micron and I'd raise you SNDK, which is going absolutely even 23%. It's up 3 times. It's also breaking out. The story is DRAM. The story is that nobody seems to think this lack of supply and this increased demand is going to go anywhere for at least the next year. And while that's happening, because of the reasonable multiple, like these guys are just getting buyers on every single dip and going parabolic. SanDisk is literally squeezing every single day at this point. Like it's just going out of hand. So this is one where I say I find it so much easier to say things like it's a short till it's not, because I find when stocks go are bad for a while, they're much more likely to just go down a bunch of days in a row. Whereas like Micron's last couple of days have been like kind of wishy-washy, like down day, ridiculous up day, ridiculous down day, ridiculous up day. Like it's doing this yo-yo up here where maybe you just wait for it to pull back and consolidate and then just take the break off the consolidation. Like give it the old like 50-50. You know, if it's a big down day before, just find a resistance level the next day and then take a breakout through. Because it was so weak yesterday, it would be hard to have come in today thinking you're going to break it out on Micron. So I wasn't even thinking about this name after what we saw in yesterday's trade. But lo and behold, maybe that's the pattern. Just find a resistance level when it's weak and then take the breakout. When it's weak, there's a resistance level and just take the breakout. So maybe look for weakness tomorrow, see if it follows that pattern.
Wow, like Tesla's going up a little more than obviously I had thought here. So I just have an offer now, 434.50s, and then 435 where VWAP is. I don't know if there's going to be any stopping to this, and we just did take a back end trade there again on SoFi. So I don't know, more covering down here. Just trying to make back a little bit there. We're short at 62. We got some 50. The best we got was 54s or 55s there. So yeah, here comes SoFi right back there to the upside. Yeah, all these names, man, continue to work. I don't think Palantir will be on the list, but there it goes, Palantir. Trying to take out this 180.25 again. This is the craziest stock because we should have had it right there at 175. You know, we talked about that a couple times on the show, and then there again at 176. Wow, good trading today for PLTR. We'll go over to Neil and then back over to Joe.
Your heart beats 100,000 times today, released it likely will, and every single beat is going to be a data point. AI/ML innovations on the CSE is AI/ML. You can find on the OTC AI/MLF. Turns that data into life-saving insights with max yield. It's an AI engine that filters noise and labels each heartbeat with lab-grade precision and shrinks ECG analysis from days to minutes. And I can tell you, if you've ever had a bunch of heart testing, it's a pretty valuable insight. Their mission is to revolutionize, everybody, how heart disease is detected and monitored and eventually prevented. So learn more at AIML.health and follow at AIML_Innova on X. Shout out to them. You can scan the QR code you see right there out in front of you, everybody. And we'll go back. I think we have one more to talk about. This time I can't really guess.
Maybe Big Bear AI?
Oh, yeah.
All right, one more guess. Come on, throw it out there.
Open door.
You got it.
Oh, no. Come on, man.
It's not even on
the ultimate
Amazon?
No, come on. It's the
Rocket
ultimate.
Lab.
It's the ultimate tech ETF. Who is it? It's Google.
ARK.
ARK. No, obviously being sarcastic. Just saying so much involved here with Google. But yet, continuing to expand its partnership, Snowflake is going to be on the receiving end here, bringing Gemini 3 to Cortex AI for faster enterprise. Now, as for Snowflake, we are up a staggering 92% from our benchmark in the April lows. Google performing relatively well as well, too.
So we also know that in CES Las Vegas today it was announced that Gemini AI will be collaborating with Boston Dynamics to equip humanoid robots with intelligence. So it's also going to allow them to operate in an unfamiliar environment and manipulate real-world scenarios and objects. So the robotics model is now will be deployed across several Boston Dynamic platforms, including the humanoid Atlas and the four-legged robot Spot. Also, in the coming months, the robots are expected to be tested inside Hyundai auto factories, which is basically what management says would be a practical setting on how AI could translate into automotive industries, which is a really cool outlook if you ask me.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, this autonomous vehicle play is going to be in vogue for quite some time, and I think with Google's Waymo, we're going to see a lot more to come. But this tech giant, guys, up 124% from our benchmark of the April lows, and only a couple percentage points off of the all-time high. How are we looking at Google, guys?
Google's amazing, but I don't want you guys to get the idea that like we're just terrible at predicting what you guys are interested in, because I don't think we are. I'm just going to quickly point out, this is what I'm looking at. BBAI is on the list that we guessed. Rocket Lab is on the list that we guessed. Amazon is on the list that we also guessed. You got Silver, there's Opendoor, SNDK we talked about, Sidhu, ALMS. That's fine. I mean, I didn't see, that's why I was a little bit surprised, especially on a day where maybe not even the best traction for Alphabet. This one, people get hurt when you're this strong off at the open, and then look at it double bottom here, like right off the prior close was 36.5, and then it's like, oh, well, we're just bouncing, and we're gonna go again for a John. It gets into VWAP, and then just rinses everybody throughout the day. But I think to an even greater extent than like Tesla, which we were just talking about, there's nothing. There's absolutely nothing. Like Alphabet has been on, there's two tears, there's the April low, but I'm sort of keyed in like the most recent move in the beginning of September when it broke this like really tight channel to the upside. When it broke that, it really accelerated to the upside. And since then, this pullback, you've already had the pullback bounce off prior highs. Again, if you lose 300, we can tell a different story. But this is a name that has so many moats. I love that Joe calls it like an ETF. That's a good way to think about it. The exposure that you get with Alphabet is fantastic, right? You like streaming? YouTube is a beast. YouTube is #1 in my house. That's not how it started, but that's how it's ending in my household, where it's just all YouTube. My daughter just YouTube this, YouTube that. You want automated driving, you got that too. You want advertising, you got that too. You want cloud, you got that. You want AI, fine. You want quantum computing, you got that too. Like Google gives you everything that you need. It's probably one of the easiest stocks if you didn't want to just buy an index to be invested in if you believe in tech. That said, I think you wait with the price action we're seeing today relative to the market. Maybe this is a wait until it retests the 300 before going into some more interesting levels here on Alphabet. So it's been an absolute beast, just not today.
So we got that 550 there on Tesla, and I already put this out, man. If you guys are not following, and I got to give, here she comes right now probably, but I got to give all the credit for this trade to Adara, who's just back in the building right now. There it is, man. She mentioned this. As soon as Jensen and Tesla was talked about, we went long. So there's $5 right there taken out. So thank you to Adara for that one. Definitely putting a smile on this guy's face. And I think Google is one of now the largest holdings in the portfolio, and I want to buy more, to be honest with you. Although I've said this year, we bought a little bit more Netflix at $90 today, and we bought a little bit more SoFi already today. But my idea for this year would really to be, and it's funny that Joe mentioned this, but to get more indexes, right? And so to get, something more into the S&P 500 rather than individual stocks. But yeah, I really like Google, and I just really appreciate it right now. And the problem is the valuation, right? We're starting to get a little frothy on some of these values. I really liked Google down there when it was 17 or 18 PE. Now the market has a valuation of around 27, I believe. So let me just go see what Google's is against. Yeah, of course, the S&P 500. Yeah, so there's so now Google is no longer cheaper than the market. So I'm not, at these prices, fine. I obviously love the stock, love the fact that I'm holding the stock, but I don't think it's a buy right in and around here now. I think it's gone a little bit too far, but it can still grow. It's not, no problems. Just as some of the names that, or some of the reasons why Neil just gave, those are high growth areas. So you sometimes have to pay up for growth, and they'll move into their valuation, right? So it's nothing wrong with the valuation. I really like it, and I think that it's a decent one, high 20s into 30. Just it's been cheaper, and that's where that run has come from. Just as Joe said, if we're going to call this an ETF, should an ETF move 115% in 8 months? Yeah, maybe not, but there it goes, upside anyways. Just let it cool down a little bit, right? I mean, we could come back. We've seen Amazon back at the 200s, as we've talked about before, Apple, all that. So there's a lot of opportunity for this name to fall back in. And when it does, I think it's arms open and you welcome it into your portfolio. So we really like that stock. And it looks like AMD does not get to our, I was just waiting up here near the highs again. It doesn't look like it's going to get to that, but maybe it does. 214.50 in line there for AMD. All right, it's Sia over there at the desk with Happening Now.
Thank you. So API Crude Oil Stock Exchange will come out at post-market 4:30 p.m. today. Also want to remind you that tomorrow we will have the 30-year mortgage rate at 7 a.m. Let's take a look at some headlines for today. Meta has delayed its Ray-Ban display glasses because of certain inventory limits. The company has planned to launch the products in France, Italy, and UK and Canada this year. However, CEO Mark Zuckerberg said that due to unprecedented demand in the US, there are inventory concerns, but currently Meta stock is up 0.25%. We're going to move on to Nvidia here. NVDA has launched its family, like I said earlier, of open AI models with the research community that will accelerate the next era of safe reasoning-based autonomous vehicle development, as said by the company called Alpamayo. And Nvidia shares are trading negative 0.5% at the moment. There was no major change after the announcement in the stock. Also going to take a quick look at Ford today. One of my favorite brands ever. Ford has reported its best sales since 2019. Ford Motors said on Tuesday that its U.S. vehicle sales last year has increased 6%, marking the company's best annual sales since the year 2019, with 2.2 million vehicles that have been sold in 2025. Also, Ford's hybrids are more popular right now than ever, but the company has discontinued the all-electric F-150 Lightning as part of its refocusing on electrification strategy, and Ford currently is up almost 3%. That's all, and back to the guys.
3% on Ford is actually nothing to sniff at. You know, usually that stock ain't moving much. Let's be real, but yeah, that
not much.
No, like, I mean, obviously the F-150 is incredibly popular. Like, you could see, like, at first thought when there was that discontinuing of it, I was like, is that the right play? Because I think that's kind of an indictment of, you could have looked at it as an indictment of EV, but I think it was, in some ways, it's turned out to be, no, people just absolutely love the regular F-150 so much that why would they, it's gonna take something to move off of it. And maybe that, I think that might have been more of it. So I'd still pick GM over Ford. They've just been executing better. Their numbers consistently are better. The stock has been performing better. But yeah, good for Ford, for sure. Like you've been doing pretty well with both those two names, surprisingly so, because GM's been fantastic. You're doing much better than you think with Ford. So SMR, just very quickly, because these are almost exactly the same setup. Broke this trend. There's the trend. There's VWAP. I'll take it all out when it gets to, if and when it gets to the volume weighted average price. I shouldn't speak in certainties. And then Intel's more or less the same thing. Intel's given 3 trend breaks. 1, 2, and then this is the third one in here. The difference is, I feel like this is structurally a little bit stronger because it's also a bit of a breakout. It's a breakout of the almost the all-day high here and then the pre-market levels as well. So I'll be a little bit more tight with where we're trying to hold it to, like more of a scalp trade. Like I'm in at 93 and I'm giving it to 40, so it's less than 10 cents worth of risk. But really, if we can get down in here into like the 75 range, I don't mind taking this at a 1.5 to 1. Just feeling like Intel's been unusually strong today. Just one of those days. You know, if you, when I sat down this morning, if you told me that Nvidia was going to give up all of its gains and be basically flat, and that Intel was going to start off with this kind of a candle and be up 1.2%, I'd have told you you're absolutely crazy. And then I'd be like, I'll bet you $1 it doesn't happen, and then you could take my loonie, because I operate like trading places. All fun bets are always $1, just like Mortimer and Randolph. I guess it's the other. Randolph and Mortimer always do. Great movie.
Good movie. Yeah, check that one out again, guys, if you haven't watched it, Trading Places.
And then they're in Coming to America.
Oh yeah, Coming to
We're
America.
back.
Yeah, they did that.
We're back.
Yeah, they did that. That Second Coming to America, right, on Netflix, on Amazon, was it?
It was on Amazon.
Yeah,
we should probably just forget about that.
That was not great.
Although Amazon today, I was surprised.
Oh yeah, Amazon today is.
I was surprised Amazon didn't make the rundown list, everybody. What's up with that? 3% on look at this move on Amazon today. That plays. You know, like that definitely will play. Your 50 gone, your 200, like it's. We said this morning, like this one has a decent chance to get back into the highs. Like sometimes when a good stock gets a little boring and finds a support level, it can be like the next thing to go. When everyone didn't like Alphabet, I don't think it's gonna do what Alphabet did. But remember, like everyone was like, oh, why? When we bounced off those April bottoms, like why isn't Alphabet going like everything else? It was like sliding up, but it wasn't really taking off. And then when it did, it was absolutely gorgeous to set upside. This Nasdaq is unrelenting.
I kind of want to go short at some point.
Unrelenting. But when I look, if you look at the Qs, it's still very much overall like this might be a break of this little lower high pattern we're doing because we have higher lows and lower highs on the Nasdaq, and at some point, I think we get a little better directional breaking out of this wedge. It feels like we're testing that in here today, but you know, these kind of things are resistance until they're not resistance, unfortunately, and that's why we're not really accelerating through some of these tops yet. I think it's a big yet.
I was just looking at the TQs myself right now, and I was actually thinking about this break right here of the 50 period moving average, and then just saying maybe going short if we can take this out. That's 90s, so that's just at 97, so we don't have to give up that much. It's not moving, like it's grinding forward. It's not doing, I just got back into SoFi again. Now I'm just like, it's because VWAP is right here at $27, so it's kind of like, okay, let's just see. Thank God Tesla and AMD both working because SoFi is not. But yeah, the TQs, just thinking, it's so funny, is I'm short SoFi and I bought it 75 cents ago in the long-term account. Like I think I got 26.08 or something like that. But that's when we first started going long, actually. It's funny thing about SoFi is I was actually going long down here initially. All these greens are longs. Would have been great to have that one back in there, but okay, I'm not doing anything until we get to $27 on SoFi. I'm gonna take that one a little lower, a little bit softer. Ooh, bless you, SoFi softer. Yeah, so the high of the day right now on this TQQs is right here. So the Nasdaq is like right here right now. Nvidia CEO speaking, and we'll just wait on these futures possibly breaking. I actually don't mind trying this break against the high of the day, actually. 90s, let's say a 95 break on the TQs. We'll go short, and then we can play it against the high of the day. But we need to see some kind of a trend start to break a little lower here on the TQQs. All right, it's Adara back at the desk.
This part of the show is brought to you by our friends at Global X, because savvy Canadian traders looking to boost their exposure can now tap in to the Nasdaq 100 and S&P 500. With Beta Pro, 3x daily leveraged ETFs featuring built-in FX hedging, this aims to amplify short-term market moves, minimizing the impact of currency swings. Whether you are feeling bullish or bearish, these ETFs are built for active day traders ready to take on the market. Read the full risk disclosure in the prospectus at betapro.ca before investing. Back to you.
Thank you very much there, Adara. And this is what I was sort of talking about, like having less of a VWAP perspective. Like, look at Intel. Look at the second it broke that 40 level. Make sure you have your stops. So we'll end up like the third one not being a charm, but didn't really like it as much as the first. Gonna take it when it happens. This will end up basically a flat trade, but hear him just, he's just saying it's a break of the high of the day. Sometimes the news feed will just say something like stock is breaking high of the day without there being a news story, but there is no news story. Look, obviously CES is going on, and the other thing to consider with Intel is just because you find your way into a couple of shorts that might work, the daily chart still looks pretty darn good. This is the opposite of losing the 50 period. It broke it. It's now holding higher lows. They got the government invested in them. They've got Nvidia invested in them. They're releasing some new chips. I think maybe the foundry is going to be some progress that everyone wants to see, but there's been nothing on that regard yet. But still, Intel's got a lot of things that are starting to go well for them for sure. Walt Winchell. We have a shit to get to, but you just mentioned Open Door. It's still really slowly grinding higher, but it's just a little bit better than the day before. Like small up day, good up day. There's your 50 period, almost perfectly aligned with the $7 level. I think this breakout, I think it's coming. Like it's already made a local break today on decent but not great volume. I feel like that big volume breakout. Here we go. Let me just move. I'm going to move the name down here so it's maybe easier. Oh, now it just keeps on filling. But you need to break away from, I think, this area first. Like, yeah, great, you get like 680. But that 50 period on the daily where you break 7, I think then you've got like a big room into like maybe 10% into the $7.70 and $8 on Open Door. But I think that can be a good one if you're interested. And then I want to get to the super chat here. JKL. Oh, Nvidia. Short Nvidia jumping on thin ice of the 50-day. Of course, to the Canadian national anthem.
There it is.
Which it is fitting. Yeah, is the market just ticked higher? Nvidia actually started dropping again.
Yeah, we're finally, let's go SoFi. There it is. Let's fucking go. Right now, the bears are now out on SoFi. So, we were bidding 62s and did not get them there. So maybe 1 penny too light on SoFi. Hopefully it comes back. I'll put a little bit of a bid there at 64. Again, very strong stock in the afternoon, not very strong in the AM. Was SoFi. Whoops. All the way to the downside. Tried to make it back. And finally, we were smart enough to wait for VWAP, but not smart enough to wait that long for it. We took a bunch of shorts, as you guys saw, and we got hit over there on that one. But that's aight. I do have an offer on AMD just up here. I think it was 20s. Yeah, 214.20. So if that comes in, we'll be able to hit that real quick on AMD. And then just before we go back, Tesla, I'm going to get out if this breaks 431. We got out some more there at 432.50. So now I have 8% left. So good trading there on Tesla. And hey, maybe Adara will be able to trigger into another trade here. Let's go figure out what Adara's up to.
I mean, are you looking at NVIDIA or AMD, Sean? Because other than that, I might not really be able to help you. But we do have, apparently Jensen Huang here speaking at an industry conference saying that he does not expect a formal announcement of Chinese approval for these H200 shipments, but he rather expects to learn of Chinese regulatory approval through purchase orders from customers. So basically, he's not expecting the Chinese government to say, hey guys, you can send your chips to us now. He's just expecting customers to start having these orders, at which point he'll be realizing, okay, we have orders, we can start sending them. So interesting note there, not a note the market cares at all about, but wanted to let you guys know because we know China and chips, really worth watching here. Back to you.
You want to be aware of every headline, and then you got to.
NVIDIA's not doing anything either.
Yeah, then you make the judgment, right? Like you either the news sounds significant enough to you, or the stock is moving based on that news. Like those are the two things, and that's all you end up caring about. So always feel free to interrupt. Keep it leafy. Any mention of critical metals today? I feel a couple of times. This morning, we discussed critical metals. It was more in the context of some of the other, I was mentioning MP, and then we were talking about, I think I mentioned Freeport, and then we talked about some of the other commodity plays that were out there being, in my opinion, a better reaction to over the weekend with Venezuela, to me was defense names. And then if this is like some big play for resources in general, well then just look for strength in some other resources, and whether it's critical metals and some strength in copper and palladium and silver, again rare earths, like they just seem to all work, literally all of them work better than oil. That's just it. And CRML, again, I like MP, but whatever, these guys are doing just fine here. So we did talk about this breakout. Just much bigger of a move than I was expecting today. Didn't really see 20, whatever. Who sees 24% coming in to this, especially when it was kind of dogging it most of the day. Like pull back in a prior high, kind of touch VWAP, not make any fresh highs. It just looked like one of those, you could have bought it for the stair step up, but it did the same thing as before. Like it kind of gave you the gain, pull right back in, kind of give you some VWAP action and some support. So it's more of like a good swing. And then all of a sudden it just went ham at like 130. And went programmed to the buy side. So I like MP a little bit better, but CRML, who knew? That's all I got to say. But I do believe this was a better reaction, and it's across the board as opposed to looking at CVX. I guess is we're calling the poster child of whatever. CVX just gets picked on because Chevron's the one that they had the biggest gap up because they already have dealings in Venezuela, and second day in a row, you got absolutely burned. The good thing with CVX has not been to chase it ever. The good thing with this type of a name is to buy it off of established support levels. Right? Like you buy dips at prices where it's getting supported, and then you do pretty well. I think that maybe if people get too overwhelmed here and this comes all the way back in, it's under 150, I think then you start buying CVX again because that's where it's been a good buy. And this could provide an opportunity. Maybe everybody that gets burned at this top is going to provide an opportunity for others to get in back where it's been historically good on CVX. It is going to take years to be able to get production up, infrastructure built out. And you probably want the government supporting some of those investments as well, which would be a good headline. But even at that, it's still going to take years of development for this to bear fruit for companies like Chevron. And it's not like it would only be them. They just happen to still have a presence in Venezuela.
Yeah, I mean, that is exactly what we were talking about this morning. We talked about that yesterday. We actually put a video out yesterday where I was like, I didn't see any of these companies. I even said yesterday, I think if you bought CVX or XOM yesterday, you're going to have a hard time seeing those prices again, but maybe sooner rather than later. I hope so too. I mean, I'm a little long oil, but not really, just from before. I have XLE from like 3 or 4 years ago, but it doesn't really matter when you bought it, it's when you get out of it. Okay, so we are now in a new position. I don't know. I finally went short because we finally broke that 50-period moving average. I'm just going to give it to the high of the day, which is 55.07 or so. So I know, Ozan, you were mentioning that you were short now. So yeah, I think it's finally starting to potentially give us that back end trade. And we'll find out if it's going to be a good one or not pretty soon because we're not too far away from the top side of that trade. And then, okay, there goes Tesla. But Tesla right now is P&L number one, and then for me, and then AMD right behind it right now. They're almost dollar for dollar, AMD and Tesla. So it's been a pretty good one right there. And then SoFi, oh man, like I was bidding 62s again and just didn't get anything on there. So it's been coming back in, trying to get this 62 fill. We'll see if we can. Our best fill so far is 64s right there, but we're going to try to get 62, and we're going to see if the futures do want to give something up. But for now, it's back over to the desk once again with Sia.
The Russell is looking, it's a mix of green and red and a lot of flats today, but it's up 0.46 right now, and I want to discuss a few individual tickers today. HRI, Herc Holdings, the premium full-service equipment rental firm, is performing really well today, up 5%. MDGL, Madrigal Pharmaceuticals, is on pace for its largest percentage declines in almost a year and is down 5.3% as of now. AVAV right over here, sorry about that. AeroVironment, the defense tech company, is up 4.5% along with several other defense stocks after the surprise capture of the Venezuelan leader Nicolas Maduro over the weekend. And HL, Hecla Mining. So I know I keep a watch on the stock regularly over here, but it's almost up 9% today as shares of silver miners are on the rise. And that's all. Back to the guys.
Another high for the memory names.
Ugh.
SNDK, 344, 25% to the upside. Micron, 339, 8.5% to the upside. Just a quick, I know we had a discussion about the PE of Micron, like its valuation. Look, I don't know exactly. I'll have to double check when they have their next earnings. I forget where I find it on this website, but it's a forward PE that's under 10. The current is 29. So obviously, you know, if it literally doesn't move from here till the next earnings and they meet expectations, then you have a 9. Then you have you have a 10 job. But a lot can happen between now and their next earnings. Without looking, I know they're always at the end of the cycle, so we've got some time. And when I say the end of the cycle, like they're usually after even Nvidia when we get.
They just reported 2 weeks ago.
That's what I'm saying. Like they get, get like the earnings season will start, and then you wait around for Nvidia near toward the end, and then you get Micron like a week later. So we've got a lot of time for it to move around and possibly adjust. But yeah, it's trading at a 29 current, but that forward, that means that there's some serious expectations coming in here they're going to have to meet. but the expectations for growth are there. So, good for them. Yeah, SMR trying to bounce. I'm thinking potential reload here. It wouldn't necessarily be a real trend, but just given the way it slid back in here, if I do see it lose 19.3, what I would have done anyways is kind of move a trailing stop from that prior bar high into here. So if it does do that, I'll just move the trail and then add to it right underneath and then continue to play into the volume weighted average price. But yeah, that Micron chart, I just saw someone in the chat say that Micron haunts them. I mean, you're probably talking about like the missed opportunities, but this happens. Did anyone really think Micron was going almost 3x in this fast a time? Micron literally just does not move like this. And on a monthly chart, like it's intense. SNDK, same thing. Like I've been thinking this feels like a little bit overcooked for a while. I'm just glad I haven't tried short. I keep saying I'm just waiting for an opportunity to short SNDK. I'm just thank goodness I haven't actually tried doing it yet. Look at this sucker. This is absurd on SNDK on the monthly chart. This one's insanity. Micron is crazy. This is stupid.
I called the top on Micron at 260, and now it's 350. So yeah, it was right into here. We thought we were pretty smart thinking it was right into here. So 250 to 260. It worked the first time, it worked the second time, and then this was earnings right here. So that's why I was telling you guys, like, they had just reported December 18th. And then, so you're talking about like 2-3 weeks ago. And there it goes, man, straight to the upside off of a great earnings report. Never gave anything back, kind of like, I mean, maybe it did a little bit, but was talking about it's different than Oracle. Oracle gave back. Oracle had a similar move, and then boom, down there back to the downside. So I'm still going to wait before we eventually wind up shorting out for that. So it looks like Tesla's right into there. Okay, we're going to go over to Adara and find out the next story.
SMCI just popping here, likely in connection to this catalyst here. This is not SMCI, this is SCI, which is also moving on this, likely connected. But both SMCI and SCI moving as we get news that XAI is saying they've raised $20 billion in their Series E round. That exceeds their target of $50 billion raised. So $20 billion as opposed to $15 billion that was targeted. Now, why is this significant? Because SMCI has widely been kind of associated here with XAI when it comes to, I guess, their data centers here. So nice look here for SMCI, SCI, as I mentioned earlier. Also to the upside on this news as we send you back to the guys.
I was why can we get that story when we're in the stock? Yeah, but no, I already written down SMCI $30. We get all the way back there. It was a great trade early. This one actually worked out, catching the falling knife. But the problem is, the difference is with this one, is it fell right into the level that we were already looking at, and then it bounced back up, right? Unlike Tesla or anything like that this morning that kept on falling. SoFi as well. We didn't even have SoFi written down on the list, so sucks to be down on that one. But yeah, nice little bounce back there for SMCI. Another AI name and another AI play. So there's that, and then there's Dell. I always equate the two of them for the server side of the trade. So yeah, SMCI definitely working out, as goes Dell today as well. So both had very, very similar days, down and then up, down, and now breaking higher. Of course, that news that Derek just brought us was very specific to SMCI. So we'll wait to see if Dell gets going at all. Bitcoin had a move today, right? I mean, IBIT.
It's trying to go now.
Yeah, so 92.3. I don't know what the bottom was, about 91, I guess, there on Bitcoin.
Oh, I'd have to. It's 51.7, whatever that works out to.
Yeah, 91 basically, 91.2 or so there for Bitcoin. Is that Bitcoin Joe over there? Yeah, I think you had a short, right, or a long or something like that. All right, long from 51.95. So
I just mocked my last little bit here, so we're
okay.
Make sure not everyone's going to know what mock means. That's a market on close.
Market on close.
You just put it into the auction, and you're automatically getting the closing print.
Yeah, if you can pull my screen quick here.
Sure.
So yeah, there it is. We're in at 51.95 to piece them out. And then this is my mock line. It might be a little bit hard to see, but yeah, that's it. We're locked into the end of the day. Let's see if we can get this thing to climb a little bit higher, guys.
All right, good trade. Good trade there.
The second we go to Adara.
Big Bear AI also.
I was taking that 52.3 break. My breakout Nasdaq scan didn't fill, so I canceled it. And when it came back into the breakout price, I just bid it and got the fill anyways.
Nice.
But yeah, it's kind of weird. Like I was in it like these higher lows, but if we can just, I know we're going to go to Adair in a quick little second, but this chart, 91.4. But like, what is that line? It's this kind of key. It's a price area. Give it like $500 above and below, but right around 91.5 has been a pretty key spot there on IBIT. But I do think I'm with Joe. I think at least until we get to the volume weighted average price, I think that's going to be the spot. That'll be about 52.7 here on IBIT. So it was a breakout trade, but ultimately, for whatever reason, didn't get the fill. Probably didn't cross far enough. I probably accidentally. You know what happens sometimes? Most of the time, if a breakout order fails, I know it's on me because I'll accidentally have put the trigger price and the limit price accidentally the same. So what'll happen is like, oh, I'm going to take a 30 break, and instead of crossing to 35, I'll put a 31 break, and then I'll literally put the order at 31 too. So therefore, you don't get anything. So I probably just keystroked. But we're in it now. A couple of cents worse, but let's see if we can't press into the volume weighted average price. Now I'm actually certain that's what I did, because that's a pretty common mistake to make. Just a simple keystroke, but you get into the trade anyways, which is what you can do. OKLO apparently breaking high of the day. If that's true, roof NY in the chat. It did tag the high of the day and pulling back. So this is one I got to monitor at least a little bit, because SMR is still making lower highs. So it did that thing where it made the lower high I was looking for. So I'm just going to add to it and then move my stop from HOD to this local high here at 1936. So I'll just move my stop down a little bit there on SMR, which, they're both trending up. OKLO's up 6.5%, SMR's up 2.8%. So if you're going to short one, short the weaker one. Kind of the way I look at it. But if OKLO never really retakes that top, then I think that can bode well for SMR, which not nearly as strong, but I got to pay attention. Like if it's going to go, if OKLO is going to go and break that high, you might get dragged up here in SMR. And low of the day just broke on Nvidia. It's going to be hard to break higher for this market if Nvidia doesn't want to be part of the party.
Yeah, we're still short on the market as well, and short the TQs. And yeah, on our list today was Palantir, SMCI, SMR, and the futures. So yeah, we traded what we wanted to today, but let's go over to Adara for breaking news.
Yeah, Jazz, just keep an eye here on these oil companies, as we do have U.S. President Donald Trump reportedly set to meet with oil executives at the White House on Thursday. They'll be meeting about Venezuela, so I'm not sure which oil CEOs. Here is CVX, so I have this one up here. Other ones you could look at include XOM, ConocoPhillips, COP, Occidental, OXY. There's also some plays that are kind of tangentially in the area, like SLB, and HAL that you could be looking at. But again, the story here is I'm seeing reports suggesting that oil CEOs are visiting the White House on Thursday to discuss the Venezuela situation as it relates to, you guessed it, oil. Back to you. True.
All right, just here on the sticky note right here, we have Palantir, we have SMCI, we have SMR 1875, and then we have the TQQs long, but we didn't get to 53.50, I don't think. We'll have to go double check that. We're short right now on the Nasdaq, and then this was it. We won for 2025. We're gonna have 2026 coming up soon. Neil, not too bad there. Sharif, just green. Brendan, green. Adara, and then Joe coming in right here. So we'll see what happens this coming year. As I don't know, we'll have to wait for our producer Brendan.
I thought we were waiting for Sharif, but
yeah.
We literally already bought one of the ones that I'm going to say, so there cannot be any surprise. Because like the first stock I bought this year was AVAV, so everyone already knows that's going to be one of the 3 picks.
I've already announced I think we're going to do 5 picks, so get some homework there. But
well, I was ho-hummed on a couple of other ones, so I really wanted it to be 5 instead of 3. But
yeah, we could do that. I mean, we'll get it figured out. And Sharif is back next week. Obi will be involved in that as well. We're just waiting for Brendan to let us know when we're going to do that segment, and then we'll get that all figured out. And we'll get Sia's picks, we'll get Adara's picks, we'll get everybody, and then you guys too. Maybe we should have a poll. And then we get these guys involved as well. But
I think we can only do 4. Why does YouTube not expand every poll needs to be 4 things.
Yeah, it's weird. I noticed that even on Twitter, it's the same type of thing, where it only has a certain amount of options you can do. So yeah, it is pretty strange. And I don't know. I just saw a super chat go through.
I know there's a better way that we can do it though.
Sure.
Instead of using the poll, in theory, if things are orderly, we could leverage the visualizer potentially.
Yeah, you could easily do the visualizer.
So if we do the we could do the visualizer, and then whatever the top X are in the visualizer, you could almost have like a poll off or whatever. Like just put like a bunch of the names up there, and then you have to vote on those names in blocks or something.
Yeah, you guys could all, we could set up an email address or whatever. You guys could email in your picks. But there it is. You're welcome. Easy peasy. There it is, man. Up, you hit your 2K. You hit 2K on Big Bear AI. So again, man, great day. No one's up 2K around here. So that is a great opportunity there. So thank you so much. We love some Big Bear AI. Up 9% there today, man. We love us some Big Bear AI. And see what I'm saying? Like, this is why I'm saying, like, nobody made 2K, so we have to turn the lights off right there. We don't have enough money to pay for everything there today. So we'll get those lights back on. I just have to get out of this SoFi trade and then add some money back into the account. But yeah, nicely cooking there. Thank you, easy peasy. And yeah, Big Bear AI, it's not I sort of went on a ramble there. It was literally 3 days ago or 4 days ago when it was at the 200 period moving average, so 540. So it's now up $1 from that. And I sort of gave you the bull case for it. And there it goes. Big Bear AI feeling bearish on that name. I am not very bullish. So there goes Big Bear. Not very bullish, but we'll see if it can go up here. I don't have any plans of getting out until 9 to 950. So in and around this area for me on Big Bear AI, and I think it can even get higher than that. Nothing else is really, I mean, Mara, I think I just got an update on, or a thing on Mara. Yeah, but it is from a couple minutes ago now that I'm seeing this. And
it was a spike. Like,
yeah, so we probably got some volume spikes there on Mara, but still down 1.4%. So that could be something there for sure. Yeah, we're lights off right now. So here, we're gonna get those back up in just a couple seconds.
Apparently there's maybe an issue, I think, with your mic.
No,
someone's saying there's an issue with your mic audio.
Oh, maybe, I don't know.
Okay,
I ain't in charge of that.
It should be fixed, so hopefully, usually it's my mic that is problems, not Sean's.
Yeah.
So like anytime I see mic issues, I'm like, crap, not again. But
we can't go to you, Adair.
No, Adair, like the.
How we could just go to her mic.
Yeah, go to
if you
Adair,
want.
put Adair on. We have some news.
You won't be able to see her.
MSOS, which is moving around a little bit here. Marijuana, one of these marijuana outlets, including here Marijuana Moment, I'm seeing has the story as well, reporting that the U.S. Senate has voted to confirm Sarah Carter Bailey as the director of the White House's Office of National Drug Control Policy. She will be their drug czar. Now, you guys know me. I'm not going to read this story without finding out a little bit more about our friend Sarah Carter Bailey. So here are some details that I think you need to know with regards to marijuana rescheduling and why this stock could be moving. Now, Sarah Carter Bailey was actually a journalist who was known for covering cartels, so she does know the drug space, though obviously that doesn't necessarily directly pertain to marijuana. Well, apparently she told senators that the administration is, quote, keeping all options on the table with regards to marijuana rescheduling. She personally, I guess, said that she doesn't have a, quote unquote, problem with legalization, so she is by no means an aggressive advocate for the cannabis space, but I mean, I guess either way, this being kind of ambiguous or neutral, maybe not a bad look here for MSOS as it pushes higher. Back to you.
Thank you, Adair. I was just looking at this MSOS. Because last week when we had, it might have been last week, but the last time we had Brian on, he was looking for a break, which it hasn't happened. This is sort of the thing about a breakout trade. One of the best parts about breakout trades, as opposed to a lot of different setups, is at least it's the most obvious no reason to be in. Like it's hard to be in early on a breakout trade because if it doesn't go, it doesn't go. And that's MSOS. Ever since this pullback, just has not been able to break above $5. But it's a very obvious and clear level that you might find a little action on, and we have light again, so we can kind of get back into normal there. So the lighting's back on, but mostly the same. I said I tightened up my stop on SMR, so we jumped out of that one. I mean, OKLO has been pressing higher. That got at best down to 19.2. Like that's as close as we got. But once we broke that higher low, jumped out of it. So trend break doesn't get all the way into the volume weighted average price. So we're just sitting into IBIT for now, looking for that to get back up on trend into the volume weighted average price, which I do realize I say a heck of a lot. Oh my God, Icky. First of all, if you say that in the chat, because I can see, it's not going to get through. But let's just say the blocked message was that Netflix is not doing well.
It broke through 90, didn't it? I got filled at 90 today.
That being said, it's not that bad in terms of the follow through from the support at the $90 level. Now you step up, you're holding under 91, but that's structurally, well, that's right, it's not split adjusted. Thanks. Structurally isn't the end of the world. Like you have the potential for a wipeout bottom here on Netflix, where you get like a liquidity grab and then you regain the prior support level and break it out. But we're gonna go to C in a quick little second. Like for myself, and I'm just gonna use this because whatever, like if we're not split adjusted, it's easier for me to go to E signal right away and just quickly show you. I think on a monthly chart, 70 looks good, but it's a weekly chart that I'm more fixated on for Netflix, on that higher time frame. Like pull back into 80 first. That's the first step. It's like $82. And then you go to the monthly chart, you find that 70 level. The 200 period on the weekly is actually way underneath that. But I think some patience is going to be worthwhile in Netflix. You're just going to have to wait out this downtrend. Let's go to the desk. We have Sia again.
Quickly taking a look at the market here, the S&P, I'm seeing a lot of mixed colors today. We already spoke about Tesla, spoke about Google, Micron, but I have three tickers that I really do want to talk about today. MasterCard, MA, company's value-added services and solutions segment is becoming I'm just going to move on to the chart. The company's solution segment is becoming a key driver of growth, helping to diversify its revenue streams and strengthen client relationships. And MasterCard is currently up 2%. Moving on to Qualcomm, QCOM. The CFO and COO, Akash Pakiwala, sold 3,333 shares of common stock as of the 2nd of January, accounting to $577,620. Also, Qualcomm has incorporated Qualcomm Incorporated has recently unveiled Snapdragon X2 Plus platform. The earning estimate also for 2025 have increased 0.2% to $12.15 over the past 60 days, while those for 2026 have declined 1% to 12.58. Moving on to CVX. Sorry about that. To CVX, Chevron. Iraqi PM Mohammed al-Sudani met Chevron VP Joe Koch to discuss boosting cooperation in Iraq's oil sector, aiming to improve investment conditions and increase oil production and refining capacity. And in addition to that, U.S. President Donald Trump is meeting with Chevron and other oil executives later this week to discuss boosting oil production in Venezuela amid recent geopolitical changes and capture of the president of Venezuela, President Nicolas Maduro. I also do want to say that Chevron currently is trading negative 4.25%. That's all. Back to the guys.
All right, thanks.
Thank you, Adara. I want to say something to Joe Schmo, because he had a good point in there. Here it is. Let me find that comment. I don't see how SNDK could be short squeezing less than a day to cover and just 4% of the float shorted. I see 7%, but there's a distinction without a difference. The day to cover, whether it's 1 or 1.5, is not a big deal either. It's real market forces more than that, I think. I agree with you on the real market forces aspect of it. I'm comparing, for myself, every time I bring up SNDK, I'm comparing it to Micron. I think Micron fundamentally looks a little bit more reasonable in the move that it's making relative to the numbers. Whereas I would venture that SNDK seems a little bit more frothy. Compared between the two, I think that one is just it's a bigger back-end trade if it ever stops going down. But I haven't shorted the sucker once on the way up. I don't think it's going too crazy for me. I just think it's a little bit more overdone. It has more squeeze personality than Micron does. So it's a comparison between the two. I understand it's in a space which has a tremendous amount of growth, and the market has been right about that for quite some time. On SNDK, it's probably, look, I was about to finish the sentence. I was about to say it's probably just broken another high of the day. I didn't know that was going to be the case when I when I pull over to it. But yeah, another high of the day. So another 3 minutes, well, it's more than like 3 minutes here, and another breakout, probably Micron breaking highs of the day. The Qs are at the highs. Yeah, these stocks have been nuts. I just feel like the reason, and I'm going to go right back to this chart for SNDK, which I think it was a monthly, not a weekly, but this will look just as insane. Like SanDisk is up 8.5 times. 8.5 from, that'll be August, when it started accelerating. And then if you look at like the move on Micron, like don't get me wrong, it's not that it's bad. Micron's up 3x. So it's just a much bigger and crazier move happening on SNDK and distinctly different. So I'm just comparing the two when looking at them, thinking that if the group starts to lose momentum, then the unwind is just a little crazier on SNDK. That's all.
Yeah, Kunal, I did add, and I'm done adding right now. So I don't know. We're flat now. It just keeps on printing 01s and 02s right here. So that's where I'm short now. It says 01s, but it's 01.5. So we're short, yeah, so we're short there. Just waiting to see what it wants to go. It's actually a little under, it's 01 quarters. That's why it's showing 01. So we could just flatten it out right now and get out at 02. I mean, it's been printing us, even printed 01s, but it's not breaking any lower. I'm just waiting to see like this high break where we just got the high of the day short. So gonna give it a heartbeat above it. And then if it breaks above 10s, we'll get out and we'll take a 9-cent hit. You know, well worth it for me to take that kind of a hit, but you know, we are waiting for a downside. I mean, I say it all the time. It's like you don't want to short a sleeping market because, you know, especially with these names that we have out there, like in Nvidia and Tesla and CES out there, it is tough to sit here in the short. I mean, if you just sat in here in the long this whole time, you probably would have been okay as well. It's too bad that we don't have a tick right there. It would have only been for 10% at that time anyways, but we just missed it. Yeah, see, unless this trade goes in the money, man, we're not gonna be able to pay these bills. Okay, there it is. So 54.93. Again, hopefully we do come back in on this trade. And I'm bidding still. Actually, now I'm bidding 97s. And then I'm bidding 91, so I haven't pulled this order. Maybe we should. Just waiting to see if there is going to be a little bit of a flush. We do have, it's a guess. That's all trading is, man. It's a guess, and then it's balls on your share size, and that's about it. There's really nothing else after that. You got to check out chart patterns, see if they're going to repeat themselves, put your best guess down, and it is what it is, right? But all right, so TD here, it's kind of a mixed bag a little bit, sells and buys here into the close. So we're gonna have to wait, like GDX with a little bit of a sell as oil maybe gets to the downside there. Some Canadian banks, but TD doesn't. I mean, sometimes we see these banks on here. It's not a big deal. UWMC, okay, that's a decent sell. I don't know what's going on there. It's a 3 million share size, while the volume on the day is just 8 million. So yeah, maybe something there. And then Bristol Myers has had a nice run, I believe, as well. We'll have to wait to see where Bristol Myers is going. That's up 3% today. And yeah, that's that run that we're just talking about. Wow, 43, 45 bucks down there. Gave you this bottom a couple times, and there goes Bristol Myers to said upside as well. But yeah, good move right there for BMY. AbbVie is what I like. I also like Eli Lilly. This is the biggest position in my account as far as these names are concerned. It might have overtaken XPI, I'm not sure. But there goes Eli Lilly. I remember selling Google and buying some Lilly just to diversify. And it turns out that, you know, we sell Google almost at the lows, but we are lucky enough to have gotten involved right here just before earnings on Eli Lilly. So we first bought some. The reason why I'm laughing is because the story actually has a decent ending at least. And then we gave it the 3-day rule, and we're able to buy basically the exact same position down here. So giving us an average price somewhere in the middle, and then boom goes a dynamite there on Eli Lilly. So although happy that Google's gone up, you know, would have liked to have won on both of them, which we did because we still own Google. But Eli Lilly there, nicely taken out to 1,100, and this was like 8, maybe more, 10 or so straight down days, followed by almost the same amount of days right back there to the upside. So you want to talk about a momentum stock. I mean, Eli Lilly is definitely one of those as it bounces around these levels.
And we were pointing out that any weakness they have on Novo's pill, oral, I should say, yeah, well, whatever, pill. Oral GLP, there is serious talk that the method that they use, that Eli Lilly uses for theirs, is cheaper to accomplish. So their margins might end up being better. At some point this year, they're expected to come out with theirs. So ride that wave in Novo for as long as you want. But the big boys, like the freeze. I don't know if you ever watched the Atlanta Braves have this dude.
Yeah, I know who he is. He runs around.
Yeah, so like Novo is like the fan that has the head start, and then the freeze is going to be catching them this year when it comes to this pill.
I like that.
There's an easy way to beat the freeze. I've seen like one or two.
Yeah, I saw the video too. Yeah, you can. It's about the timing of it, right?
Yeah, because he starts when you get to a certain point. So a bunch of people not very smart, they sprint as fast as they can. So then they tire out.
They get tired.
But if you're smart, you just jog lightly.
And then you go when you get to that spot.
Gradually, you don't hit top speed until you get to that spot. He has no chance to beat you if you have any. Like I saw like a track. There was like a lady who did that, and she was a track.
Yeah.
And she beat him easy with that strategy. But anyways.
Yeah, you don't want to overcommit. That is.
The guy has endurance. He's literally I think he was like a Division I track athlete.
Okay.
There was just a super
sense.
chat up that I wanted to get to. I'm sorry, I didn't have it memorized, but.
No, there was this. Well, thank you so much to Icky. Best gut trader you've ever seen. Okay, well, I'll try to find some more traders. But okay, so here goes AM, and thank you so much. I really do appreciate that. Any kind of compliments I like. So there it is, man. 212 out right there on AMD. So there it is. Sirens up. Right there, so that was one of the better trades there. It is now dollars. Come on, man, I made a winning trade. Keep those lights on. It is now dollars away. AMD and Tesla for me, the top two. And good thing we got out of Tesla on that upside move there, as well as there goes Tesla upside. And unfortunately, we got to wait here. The Qs did go in the money for us again. It went to 98. Remember, I was telling you I was printing 97s. Today is not my day. We had SoFi bounce off levels. We had the futures now bounce twice off of literally our bid. It just goes to show you, although there's a lot of size here, it really needs to completely run you over, or else it just kind of sits around. There is 25,000 shares here on the Nasdaq, but that's not all going to print. They're going to pull that. This is very, very algorithmic, and you got to just be careful with this and the TQs. And same is true of all of these futures products. They don't print as many shares. You can see even here on the time in sales, you get just a couple thousands when you really do have 100,000 right here. If you blast those levels, that's where tape reading comes into it, and you want to be able to see are they actually taking down? There was a good amount of trades right there. I'm bidding 99s and 97s now just to see if we do get a downside push here with only 30 minutes to go. Remember, in 20 minutes, those imbalances are going to come out, the ones that I just showed you. See, they can't even go down another penny. I'm just trying to take 3 pennies. But the imbalances will come out and change the whole game. Every day at 350, you get very, very, if we go over to yesterday, you get very dramatic moves. Here's the volume spikes. I mean, that would be nice if that happened at 350 today, downside. So that happened yesterday. I've never, ever in my life looked at what it did the past day and try to equate it to what it maybe might do today. So I'm just trading off of the levels and what we're seeing here. And right now, futures at highs and don't look like they want to do anything. So I don't know, we might just be sitting in here and waiting to get punched out, to be honest with you. 55.10 is my out. So we'll give this one about, like I said, 8 pennies and change. To try to make 8 pennies would be nice, but who knows, man? I think the odds are in our favor here. We just got to get that pushed out, and I can't control what this market's going to do, so we'll wait. All right, it was a call for Adara, so let's go back over and see what she's up to.
Hi guys, I have a fun little, almost kind of putting out a feeler here for you guys because I want to see how you like this. I was mentioning this earlier, I really want to show all of the CES companies. Now, obviously you cannot read this. It will be more legible when you see it on X. I haven't posted it yet, but just let me guys, I want to know in the chat how you guys sincerely feel about this style of schedule. CES 2026, there are way too many companies that are public that are going to be involved in some events. So this is kind of like a film festival style where things start at multiple times. And then as you can see, the timing kind of changes. I'm going to be posting this on X at TTV Research imminently. So let me know how you feel about this type of style, and I can do this for the rest of CES 2026 and or any other major conferences that we have that are multi-day and or multi-event, because I want to make sure you guys have all of the coverage of all of the events that I can possibly give you. Back to you.
You're a machine at there. I love the logo.
Definitely doing that.
The logo one that you had before, I thought was fantastic. That's still up there. Yeah, which is because it just immediately stood out. When you see, I just see a company that I'm like, they're like they're at CES or
If you're a tech company, you're at CES.
no, but there was who was it? There was it was Goodyear.
Oh yeah.
I'm like Goodyear.
Nothing like some tire companies over there
How
at
is
CES.
Goodyear doing at CES? I can't even. It doesn't even make any sense. So 330 just hit. Look, Bitcoin is really now not. Like it already wasn't going crazy outside of this one volume spike that ended up the breakout trade, but it's been trending up. I just think VWAP is starting to feel a little bit less likely, unfortunately. So if I see it fail again at this 52.5, like it gets up to 52.5 and then wipe.
Come on, SoFi.
They just wipe the bottom of the range. So if that keeps happening, I might just jump out of this one if I see that happen again. And Happy New Year to MJ Dub. I just saw the super chat.
Yeah. Thank you so
Happy
much.
New Year to you as well. And those are pounds. British pounds? Yeah, British pounds. Where are you
Nice,
from?
thanks.
Like where in England are you from?
That's about 105.
Go Liverpool.
150 or so. Yeah, SoFi.
Family in Leicester.
Yeah, nice. Yeah, hopefully this, maybe they'll tell us where they're from. Yeah, so we actually got 80s there. It goes down to 7. Like SoFi actually broke there, and we were able to get some out. So we actually got out of 30% of our SoFi there at the 50 period. I mean, I was literally saying it came in and hit us a couple times, and we never got filled. That time we did, thankfully, and we actually put out another. So we got filled immediately at 82s there, and then I was just like, we'll get it, and we got an 80 filled. So we'll see if it does make a move lower there. We are actually starting to get pretty happy there. Our net completely turned around a little bit on that move, but yeah, still going to be a red day there. You know, green yesterday, red today. All right, so and this move as well. We actually got 98s or 97s there. So I think we got our 98 fill, 97. Sorry. So we did get O's and then 97s. So. Okay, the 97's a much better fill, but you know, it's like I'm trying to let this go down. And every time, we just got another O fill there. Every time that happens, it just gets bought back up. So I don't really know what I want to do anymore. I'm bidding 99s for 15%, and then after that, down into the 91 area, and then hopefully we can crack lower into these 80s. But I'm getting nervous now because we only have a few minutes left until those imbalances, which come at 350. So we're moments now away from those imbalances, you know, affecting every position that anybody has. If your name is on those imbalances, then like the Hunger Games, you're chosen, and you got to watch out. So, all right, that's that. We're going to go back over. It looks like SoFi finally, thankfully, we were able to get something out there at 80s and 82 and 80 because you're going to run right now $27 here on SoFi. So watch out now. We almost made that huge move right there, right back up. I don't know. No news about it, but doesn't stop this name from going back up. It's up straight $1, straight up $1. Right there on SoFi as we try to catch the tops every time and get burned every time as well. All right, we got another market update with Sia at the desk.
So the dollar's edging higher. The US dollar index is modestly higher as of this week, up around 0.3% year to date. But I also want to talk about the yen. The yen is weak despite BOJ hike signals. The USD JPY is trading mid-150s as the dollar's recovered early losses, but the yen continues to lag back even after Governor Ueda, I'm so sorry if I pronounced that wrong, signaled more BOJ rate hikes likely hikes this year. That's all, nothing major happening as of today. Back to the guys.
Yeah, the U.S.
Quick one.
It's always been a big deal there. But look, I actually hopped out of that little range-bound trade in IBIT, and then it attempted to break the range. I'm like, okay, well, if it breaks that 50, I'll just try to jump back in to play it into VWAP. So instead of this long, we're giving it that little bottoming tail wick. I'll just jump in here and give it to this little body underneath. So it's new trade, just a new entry point, and still going to give it that like 10% pullback and see if we get into VWAP. I do want to double check. Still that UWMC, whatever that is. There was no index action, by the way. I checked on this stock, anyways. It's in CVE and BDE, and yeah, SPACs are back. Oh, this anytime you see like in like this, like dot whatever weird symbol and like dot UN nonsense, and then you see the auction price at or very close to $10. That was a SPAC IPO, almost guaranteed. If the auction price says $9.99 or $10.03 or $10.01. Then it's probably one of those SPACs. SPAC season is back, but I don't know if you want any of them. There's a trade I'd love to be able to do. We can never get locates on these SPACs. Every single time one of these suckers opens up underneath $10, you can just short at $9.99 and just take the spread as many times you want to do a few million shares. But it's difficult to get locates on them on the first day, unfortunately. But there's been a host of them. There's like 2 today. We've been averaging in December, outside of when it was the holidays, we were averaging like 3 or 4 new SPAC IPOs a week. What it means for the market, I don't know, but I feel like as more of them start lining up, and these are like when they IPO, they don't have like a deal that they're combining with. It's not the best sign in the world as far as I'm concerned for where we stand in the market when we're getting like a host of SPACs coming through. That seemed like it signaled some kind of a top before, but it's anecdotal, that's all I'll say. But they're getting a little bit faster and more furious. And none of them are doing anything until they get some kind of a business combination. So unless you know something about who is involved in that SPAC, who they might be lined up investing in, and really believe in them for good reason, I wouldn't touch a SPAC with a 10-foot pole. On an IPO, I know what they do. I know what they're trying to do. Maybe they're not making money yet, but you already have a company which has been operating. Some semblance of a business has already been formed. With a SPAC, you're just trusting in somebody that they're going to invest pretty well. Or you're just, you get your $10 back at best, which I guess isn't the end of the world. You sit in it for a few months and then you get your $10 back, but you could have just sat and got 5% or 4% in the money markets or something.
That reminds me of DWAC and some of those other plays.
Some of them worked. DWAC worked out well for people for a while, right?
Yeah, I think so. I think DWAC was up to $56 or something. All right, so MSTR, so SoFi just took out 27, so we're out of SoFi as that just gets worse and worse, keeps going to the upside. Glad we bought that in the long-term account, but not glad of what's happening to our account now. But MSTR is right back to VWAP right now, so this is a possible mover right here as well. So we could watch out. MSTR still down 3%. Yeah, it's kind of funny because Bitcoin is making a little bit of a move back, as is MSTR. IBIT. Hold on a second. All right, so we're not quite right there. Trump's talking, we just heard it there, about acquiring Greenland. So I guess that is what's going to happen. So maybe we do have the Greenland Bay Packers.
I can't see it, man.
That was pretty funny when someone mentioned that before.
They're NATO.
As well.
It's NATO.
Nah, that's not going to stop him. But apparently there is some talk here. He wants to acquire Greenland. So, okay, we can go over to Adara. You have the story about Greenland.
So this isn't coming from Trump directly. This is just a White House statement, but I will talk about it because I'm seeing some indication as well. This is why CRML is moving. That's what, again, some people on X are saying. But basically, White House saying that Trump has made acquiring Greenland, and again, these are their words, not mine, quote, a national security priority. They are discussing purchasing the territory from Denmark, forming a compact of free association with the island, or using the U.S. military to get Greenland. Quote, utilizing the U.S. military is always an option. And apparently he is very dedicated to acquiring Greenland during his term. We had some comments coming from Stephen Miller, who is Deputy Chief of Staff, I believe, as well earlier today. He also said this administration really wants Greenland. So again, this is continuing to come up. CRML on watch. I cannot confirm for sure this is why this is moving, but I am seeing a lot of indication that could be why this name is moving today. And back to you.
Greenland.
Yeah, Greenland.
Terrible movie with Gerard Butler, by the way.
I don't know. Polar bear down in Greenland. Yeah,
oh, no.
Greenland Packers. Yeah, that'd be hilarious. We did have that earlier there, a little talk of that. So I don't know. I don't think there's going to be too much need for force if you're going to overtake Greenland or anything like that. So, LMT, Lockheed Martin, things like that, Raytheon, Palantir. I don't know. I'm just trying to think what names might get going there, but
it's just about resources.
We already know.
I think you might just see some favorable trade deals.
Yeah,
in my opinion, it's a little bit harder to make that kind of a move when you're talking. The Danes are a NATO country, so this one feels way more of a negotiating kind of thing. Eventually, David, humble revenge.
Okay, we like
trade
those
of the
trades.
day.
We like those trades.
Waiting for SNDK and or Micron to see big sellers stop the madness and think of the children. Oh, won't someone think of the children? That was one of the all-time running gags on The Simpsons. Who was I forget the name of the. Shoot, it was one specific character. It wasn't Flanders' wife. Anytime something crazy happens, she's like, "Oh, won't someone think of the children?"
Yeah, it's a funny statement.
No, I tend to. Someone made the comment in the chat that they're repricing Micron. Micron is expected on their next earnings to have 4x growth. So like you're getting this major event here where going into these numbers, which will come out in a couple months, you're expecting a huge jump for these memory names. It's really tricky. Like I can say all I want that I believe SNDK when this finds a top, SNDK is going to be a better short than Micron. I have no idea where that top is going to be. It is madness, as you say, but it's also crazy. At least this afternoon, that's about as linear as you're going to get. That's probably almost a 45-degree angle to the upside and just program buying. Like, it's not parabolic. The move in the morning was parabolic. That's the thing. Like, if it's parabolic up, there's a trade, an easier trade in there when it reverses, because at least you can expect some kind of gap fill back in. SNDK is a little bit faster to the upside here. So I'm kind of with you at some point maybe, but if you've been trying every single opportunity that seems like it's good, this has been rinsing you. So I'd rather see something distinct in Micron and wait. And maybe you're waiting, I said in the chat, maybe you're waiting for weeks and months. That's fine. Like, this is what it's doing. Like, if you think it's a top or it's eventually going to be a good short, the best you can do with those right now is not have done anything yet. You can't have done any better. If that is your take, which to me, that's what I feel about SNDK relative to Micron, then the best I can do is at least wait for something to happen and then try to be there when it does, because every other thing has not worked. They're flat out just going absolute nuts, man. Absolute nuts.
Yeah, I don't really know why the futures keep going up here. It just keeps on ticking higher, the futures do, but we have AMD trying to go, so that could be one small reason there for this play. But yeah, I guess we're gonna have to get out of the futures here. We're only 8 minutes now away from these. There we go. We punch out of those imbalances to hit right now. But yeah, Nvidia still making moves lower. I don't know. There was a little bit. Okay, there was.
It's bouncing a little bit.
187.50. Okay, there could be something there. Is the Santa Claus rally? Yeah, it should be the first 3 days. So I think we're over now, or this is the last. What day is today? Tuesday. Yes, this is it. This is the last day of the Santa Claus rally, and yeah, it's been a good rally for sure, man. The Nasdaq has been up, up, up as it keeps on going upside. So yeah, good VTYX. There it is. Eli Lilly in talks to acquire VTYX.
This probably won't open back.
So yeah, now tapping $11 right now, as we just heard that a little while ago there. Eli Lilly was looking to acquire. I don't think it's a big price tag. I think it was $1 billion or something. So LLY.
They got it.
Yeah, not doing anything on that kind
Pocket
of.
win for Eli Lilly.
Yeah, kind of a news story there. So yeah, not much going on there with Eli Lilly and. But Broadcom, that's what I want to talk about instead of Nasdaq, instead of Eli Lilly, instead of Nvidia and AMD. Look at Broadcom. That's the one that just broke VWAP and starting to go lower as well here. So AVGO making some AVG lows right now. At 340, the low of the day, that's where we saw some bunched up action there as well. But yeah, maybe Broadcom could be a decent short off VWAP. Now, again, there's only 7 minutes left, so we're almost done with trading for now. But yeah, Broadcom maybe in and around here.
$1 billion? I see the market, that'd be a hefty premium then, because the market cap of this VTYX is half $1 billion.
Yeah, so it should be higher than
even if it was like 40%, that'd put it at like 800. If it's like
yeah, I think the typical buyout for and of course I'm a buyout expert is about 60 to 70% on biotechs.
On biotechs, it's been different. Biotechs are all over the place because it usually comes down to how long is it. If it's out of nowhere, the premium is vastly different from some of the ones where it's been, they'll talk about it for a while. And then you got to do it from like, what's the 90-day moving average? And then your premium isn't really from the day before. But I strongly suspect if that's news-based, it might not open up again. It's only 5 minutes till 350, and once you get in the last 10 minutes on Halts, you open at 4 o'clock, and that's how it goes. So one worth watching, but that's not, I wouldn't be concerned about Eli Lilly here in terms of the size of that one. I think You know, like the concerns of, oh no, they're making a big acquisition, it's gonna go to the downside. That's not nearly big enough. So let's go to Adara. Only 4 minutes till the imbalances. Slowly grinding higher.
Yeah, just keep an eye here with this Ventex story. There's another stock moving on it as well called SYRE. This is Spire Therapeutics. Apparently, it's a computing space to VTYX, which is Ventex. So I guess the implication here is if this one can get acquired, maybe at some point SYRE could be an acquisition target of its own. I want to mention as well here, again, it's supposed to be over $1 billion is what I'm seeing according to the Wall Street Journal. So over $1 billion reportedly here, Eli Lilly in advanced talks for VTYX. Lilly not doing too much on this. We're going to take a look at Sia though in her segment.
Thank you. We're going to quickly dive into two things from crypto today. Morgan Stanley has filed for Bitcoin. The bank is looking to launch ETFs tied to the price of crypto like BTC and Solana. The bank wants to deepen its presence in the cryptocurrency space. And also, U.S. President Donald Trump has encouraged financial companies to embrace the digital assets. BTC currently is down 1.35%, and Solana is up 0.7% as of right now. Also, XRP has surged past $2 in the crypto rally and has regained its strength. XRP ETFs have hit 46.1 million in inflow as of the 5th of January, and this has pushed total net assets to about 1.65 billion, highlighting very strong demand. XRP is currently trading, however, positive 3.59%. That's all. Back to the guys. Have a good day.
Thank you very much there, Sia. But I wish I could tell you, look, if you looked at either Solana or Bitcoin today on that Morgan Stanley headline, it's not like it was bullish for them. Like it was literally a sell pretty much all day long. It's turned into a bit of a trend back up, but you're just essentially going into midday resistance, and then we're really slowing down here. So 3 minutes to go. I'm probably going to tighten up the stop. Again, I see some of the chat saying XRP's been a disappointment. Yeah, but like compared to what in crypto? I think that's a little bit harsh. Like look at I don't know. I can't overlay here on P per weight like 10 symbols or so, but I mean we know what the Qs look like. We know what the SPY looks like. We know what the Dow looks like. We have an idea what most tech stocks look like, and really nothing like what's been happening in Bitcoin. So I think it'd be a little bit harsh to signal out any other one when the big boy is headed to the downside and has not been following the market. And today, it just simply couldn't break out this resistance in front of 95. It doesn't mean that it won't happen, but another test, and we still couldn't break it out. So I think at some point, this 54 is going to go on IBIT, but it was not today at all. Yeah, this is just, it's like so slowly going to the upside. Like everything is like this slow grind. If it doesn't accelerate soon, only 2 minutes till the imbalances are going to come out, and that always means to me tighten up to stop. Not that I've ever seen IBIT on there, but the way I see it is...
Yeah, no, I mean, sometimes you see BMNR always.
That's what I'm saying. Like the day that you're like, yeah, whatever, that's not going to be an imbalance locator, is the day that you don't tighten up the stop, and then it really does move. I still think energy names are... If I see an energy name come out of nowhere, like a big CVX, after it's been down so big the last couple of days, like a buy bounce on one of those would be really fun, but it didn't happen yesterday.
Yeah, we'll wait. I have the imbalance locator up, but it doesn't really matter. Big Bear AI right now is 9%. That's a chicken dinner winner for many of you. And again, just let's wait to see. No earnings, no nothing. Big Bear AI, of course, no earnings. We're not even in earnings season yet. We'll start with those with the banks. And I know my guy Joe over there has a plan of action for the bank stocks. All right, so I know he likes JP Morgan, and I'm invested. JP Morgan, I recently bought, that's 235. I like that one. BBAI, I just wanted to see what the short float still was here on Big Bear AI. Short float percent?
No, I can't be right.
No, that's not right. Big Bear AI used to be revenue, no. I mean, I don't understand it. Part of the reason why I like Big Bear, and I've talked about this
21%.
Yeah, a couple of times. So 21. Okay, there it is. So not 0.83. So we'll close you, Benzinga.
Sometimes they have the...
Yeah, no, I was going to say, like, I didn't see the price action get it that low. I mean, if the shorts got busted out, we would have been way higher on Big Bear AI. So still 20% short float on that one. I mean, I just can't wait till they start turning a profit. Then this name will absolutely skyrocket. So very, very happy to be in some Big Bear AI. Our cost base is just around $4. So far, so good. And I've already gotten out once on this cycle. So we're gonna wait to see if we can. I don't have any offers out. I'm gonna actually wait for $10. Like, let's just wait to $9.50, $10, somewhere up here. Or if we get up here, you know me, I can't stop trading, so I'll probably put an offer in and around here, $9.50, if and when we get to that level as well. So okay, imbalances are now out.
Yeah, imbalances just hit. Nvidia is a sell of 1.4. That stands out the most. Rigetti is a buy of 1.2 million. SOXS is a 1.4 million buy. I just saw QEBT is $1 million. So it looks like, yeah, quantum names are going to be some buys, but nothing in big cap tech land. SMR, 1 million to the buy side. So it's really some small cap names. And there's SoFi is a small sell at 900,000. It's done so much volume today. That probably doesn't even budget. Apple's a small sell of 800,000. Tesla, 800,000, not terribly big either, but it's there. So red, kind of muted imbalances led by Nvidia's small 1.2 million. DVLT, that's that penny stock that's no longer a penny stock with a buy. What is that now, $1.40? Yeah, so about $1.4 million on DVLT. Again, barely even moved. So relatively quiet, all quiet on the imbalance locator, at least for now. Wow, SMR broke the highs on that imbalance. So SMR is going. OKLO.
No, not high. It didn't break highs, did it? I was loving SMR today. Did it get all the way back?
No,
close enough.
Okay, so no, my bad. Because when I looked up, this is the chart. I was looking at the trade. I was kind of zoomed in because of the trade, but no, it's nowhere near the highs today. SMR was over $20 earlier, so that's my bad.
Yeah. Okay. No
that's
problem.
broken. That's stronger today.
Yes, OKLO. Really do like some OKLO. All right, SoFi finally starting to get back a little bit right there. I'm still on Big Bear AI. All right, let's go back over. Tesla's been a big trade here today. Come on, that's Big Bear AI's chart. There's Tesla right here. Again, big for the short. Of course, I could call up to him as 420 down. There it is right there. But nice move to the downside, 450, cracking into 430. We'll see if Tesla can get some better stories tomorrow than today, because today's a downside play. The only thing that got me involved on this one, and I've already said it, thank you many times to Adara, because that made a big difference for me there today, being able to buy that 429 off the lows and off news of CES. So nice when Jensen was sort of talking a little bit there about Tesla. So that was a nice play back there to the upside on that name. AMD, we'll see something. That still looks like the Tesla chart to me, but it's not. Yeah, so AMD had the same kind of a play there off the bottom. That's going to go out just still underneath VWAP. We'll see if that can remain strong tomorrow. So that's Advanced Micro Devices. We'll see if we can kick the tires on that one tomorrow. And then something else I want to look at here would be Netflix. So, you know, I got long at $90. That happened, and I told you that, guys, that right in the open, well, not in the open, right into here somewhere. We were bidding 90 flat. I used the Canadian. So you can take it NFLX if you guys are here in Canada. There's a CDR. This is what I use to trade with. I think it was 34.40 was my bid. So it came in, yeah, right into there. So 34.40. So I guess it must have been a little bit ahead of $90, or maybe it was 30s. Yeah, I think it must have been 30s. So right into there, and now we get that little bump up in the middle of the day. So this is a way that you can get it Canadian hedged. So you can see Netflix right there, down 0.72 here. 7, so it's the same thing back and forth as we go. So I use that because I have a little Canadian dollars in the old account there. So I like Netflix. We'll see if that can move around tomorrow as well, which it should be. We'll watch out for $90 again. Hopefully we can get a dip by there. And then Palantir is going to close at the highs as well. So that should be another name tomorrow. If we can open up around that 180 mark, I think that'd be a good little springboard, as we'll be above or close enough to that 50-period moving average. You know, you're an upgrade away from this thing ripping again. And we were on this stock right there, and I just put an order just a couple pennies lower and didn't get it. It was the number one idea today. I had it written down here, 174. It got into 174.80. We were waiting at 174.50. So we just missed that one. Hopefully tomorrow will be a little bit better on that. And yeah, we do share the imbalances. And I know I didn't look at them yet, but here, or show them yet. There's an Nvidia with the sell, DVLT. I said yesterday, watch out for this stock around that $1.50. So it looks like you're saved yet again another day here. DVLT not doing too much, but the high of the day is that 150 on DataVolt. Joby buy. ASST, Big Bear AI, they're all here. Walmart is sell. So, yeah, some opportunities to trade today.
What's actually you see on that list, too, that VTYX, which is in advanced talks with Eli Lilly.
Right.
Well, yeah, Eli Lilly is in advanced talks to acquire them, I should say. That's the proper way to state it, with a buy and balance. this might open up at 4 o'clock. We'll see. But we'll know more about the deal. It just simply says
I think it will
over
open
$1 million into oral inflammatory disease pills, or over $1 billion, I should say. But that would be over $1 billion would be much higher than what it's currently trading at $8, or even the tap says $10. You'd still be looking at sizably more than that. If it was over $1 billion deal, then at that point you're talking about like a 90% premium on its price. And even now it's only indicating that it would gain about 33%. So we'll see in 4 minutes if it opens up for sure. CS is still ongoing, and David is still dropping super chats.
Oh, good.
Jensen, whole Star Wars hairy arm glitch was beyond cringe. He's very short guy, that weird jacket. Finally, the chip design talk connected. So I must have missed that.
I don't know. I don't know. Was he wearing some sort of a jacket there yesterday? I mean, I don't know. Sharif is the one that's all obsessed with the clothing on Jensen.
I'll admit,
I have no idea.
Whatever it is, I'm sure it's funny. Sharif will be back next week. I'm sure he'll know all about it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Someone asked when is Sharif back. He just has a week off vacation, so he's back on Monday, as far as we know.
Yeah.
You never know with flights. It was bad, and
well, especially it was freezing rain.
When the Venezuela stuff was going on, like I have a family chat, and everyone was like, they had halted flights, even in Antigua, like a lot of the.
Oh yeah, one of my family members went to Aruba, which is just across from Venezuela. They didn't have problems.
There was some places that was like, yeah, they don't know if they're going to have flights or when they're going to come back in. It was a little bit hectic in the Caribbean for a bit.
Oh yeah, that is for sure. Be safe if you guys are out there. Of course, no matter where you guys are, we do have a lot of friends that are in the chat from Venezuela, and you guys know who you are. I've actually spoken to some of them via WhatsApp. So what's up to you guys there? I hope you're doing well, which I know you are. So, all right. So yeah, just about Data Vault, we had looked at this a little bit there, 150 as some of the highs for DVLT. So it's just now we've been in here a couple days. So that's been a good one. These sort of wick tops are right here, 140 to 150. So a good level of concern here for DVLT. We'll have to wait to see if it does wind up breaking above that 150. Again, like the stock, but hasn't really taken out any of these levels. So Data Vault there staying above $1. I mean, I like it as long as it's above $1. So that would be good. And again, a short float on this one, keeping this name going. So unfortunately there, what's up to Outlawed Trader? Which brokerage? You're asking both of us. I'll send this through here right now. I don't know. I mean, I would just say, like, for me, I mean, the reason why I like SoFi is I think it's like it's an all-in-one. It's the banking as well as trading. But I don't know, Robinhood. I know IBKR, I think, is a popular one. Maybe people in the chat. We're located in Canada.
That's what makes it so difficult. Like I would.
They're all the same.
Answer, but I haven't used them. Do I own shares of some of those companies? Sure, but we trade at Real Trading, and then we're here in Canada, so that's what I've used, and it's hard to, without knowing any individual ones better. But here we have a fantastic community. So you're already in the chat. Go crowdsource.
Yeah, some people, like I was saying, IBKR. Look, I mean,
look at the chat right now. A lot of IBKR in there.
If
so
you're,
crowdsource it.
I mean, I was just gonna say, like, you don't need anything. You have to figure out what you're looking to do, right? I mean, if you're just looking to trade back and forth, maybe a couple trades a week, it's not going to matter whether or not you're getting free or you're getting routed like the way Robinhood will give you a bad price or something like that. It's going to be within the same penny. So I wouldn't worry about any of that.
But if you're like if you're super active, you want Blue Ocean, you want the imbalances, you want to be in and out. Like, that's a very different story. You're going to have to be very focused on what suits you. But ask a bunch of questions. That's the best thing that you can do. Like ask. If there's certain features that you need, then make sure that you ask about them.
Yep.
I can tell you from Real Trading, there's literally click to trade in our charts because like there was a couple of traders that were, kind of big BP traders. We're like, we're kind of old school. We want to be able to click on our chart or click on our level 2 and trade. So they added it to the system. That's what your broker should be doing for you. Ideally, is sort of conforming to your needs. And I get it, not everyone's that big that you can make that call, but you can at least ask and shop around to see what works best. About 40 seconds to go until the end here. I'm curious to see if this VTYX opens up, because I feel like if it opens here, then that rumor of over $1 billion, it should have, in theory, would have room to the upside. And that's the big news this afternoon for them, and not Eli Lilly, but certainly for VTYX. 20 seconds to go here as the Santa Claus rally is over and we end with a little bit of a bang. That imbalance is actually increasing on VTYX. 3.5 million to buy.
Yeah.
This is not opening at $10 at 4. So the closing bell brought to you by AIML.
Oh, wow, we're closing already.
You can find them on the CSC under AIML, of course. And let's ring that closing bell. Ding, ding, ding. It's better when there's a sound.
All right, there it is. Yeah, thank you,
way higher.
everybody. All right, so here we go. This is like, if you're going to take the Santa Claus rally, I mean, today, it looks like this is the SPY. So Santa Claus rally did happen because you're going to close today at all-time highs. So if you take sort of the first couple days heading into Christmas, we did have a dump down in, and then the first 3 days of the new year brings you right back up to the highs. So if you played the Santa Claus rally, you're probably in about $10 or so on the SPY. So it's not a huge trade or anything, but that was a good level there. Going out at the highs right now on the SPY and close enough on the Nasdaq as well, with the Nasdaq being up here. Nasdaq's up another 1% right now. So yeah, it's good. Let's just get a daily chart on this one as well. So yeah, Nasdaq actually had a little bit of a dip. So we'd have to relook at that Santa Claus rally for the Nasdaq. I'm not sure if it actually provided anything because
the statistics.
Yeah, that's what I mean. So it's just, that's December 26th. So we're just back to sort of Boxing Day, December 26th at our Christmas levels right now. So I would say probably negligible on the Nasdaq, but it looks like it would have been there on the SPY. But remember, we've already talked about like the fact that there's actually no, historical relevance to that.
It's not statistically significant.
Yeah, it doesn't give you the good going that you want on that one. Okay, it's 4:01. Sia's already out of here, so Sia, we'll see her tomorrow afternoon. Thank you to Adara there as well. Thank you to Obi today. He'll be back tomorrow for sure. Joe, obviously. Thank you to Fabian for running around there, and Andre Brendo as well. And thanks, Neil, for making the show a good one. I know it's tough being beside your boy.
I can tell you that VTYX, it did go to 90%. So it looks like it's going to be as expected because it's absolutely settling down right in that range, probably just under the bill. So this one's going to do it's done a ton of volume already. Just be careful trading. It's not that much liquidity, and it is the aftermarket. Make sure your broker supports the ability to have fast order entry if you trade.
No one's in that stock, but
no, I seriously doubt it. I know. Well, I can tell you, mistakes get made. We know traders that have been caught and made mistakes here, Real Trading Aftermarket. Sometimes I'm talking to them as well. You always got to be careful. But it should be fun tomorrow. More CES moving around the markets. SMR and OKLO, do not sleep on those nuclear names. They were beasts, and we'll see what happens again with the memory because it was SNDK's day. No questions asked. 23% is insane.
Good recovery for SMR, good recovery for SoFi. Okay, man, have a great night. It's Tuesday, so we're back tomorrow. Wednesday, it should be a good one. Obi will be back for Sharif, and we'll figure out what's for lunch. Today's beef was okay, better than yesterday's chicken, but
yeah, that's not
left a little bit. Well, don't ask Obi if the lunch was very good or not. I think Obi had a couple portions, I noticed. Yeah, you went back. No, he went back. Back to reheat it. Okay, I saw him come with a huge plate, then he went back and reheated it. So
I don't think anyone's
he didn't have the two portions there, but I thought it was okay, tasty. Anyways, always seems to be a little overcooked, but not Leatherface chicken like it was yesterday. Okay, thank you everybody. We're out of here. Thanks, Adara, for another good day. We'll see everybody tomorrow.